So I'm recording the webinar, and I will send it out to everyone after anybody who registered. It'll be sent out to. What else? I was going to mention briefly, if somebody wants to ask a question on the webinar, you can ask a question if you can figure out how to do so, and then if I can figure out how to answer them, I'll do that as well. So I'll try to read them off. So feel free to ask questions. Like I said, hopefully I'm astute enough to see them and remember to answer them, but I'll do my best. If I screw that up, then feel free to email me or call me after the webinar. So having said that, let's get started. So we're going to talk about Medicare GA strategy today, talk about contracting and overrides, releases. We'll hit on the process if you're with a different upline, the process that's been put in place by the carriers. It has been put in place by the carriers, not the uplines, but the process put in place by the carriers to move. Talk about recruiting using our lead program, our other programs offered, and then licensed agents, lists, and emails, which we can provide. I'll throw a couple other things in there too that I forgot to put in the summary in the opening page. Okay, so first of all, we'll start with contracting and overrides. To explain how it works, a GA is a general agency. So if you have a GA contract, what that does is you have your CMS allowable commission. So every year, as all of you probably know, CMS sets the standard, the max commission that can be paid in a given state for a street agent, as they call it. That's an individual agent on an individual contract called a street agent. They set how much can be paid. CMS allowable, companies can't pay over that amount. They set that for Advantage plans and Part D plans. They don't do it for supplements. Supplements are different. Even though the GA setup works the same, it's not CMS regulated on a sup. So overrides, if somebody is a GA then, so if they bump up from street to a GA contract, overrides are paid on MAPD business on your own production. So let's say somebody's a GA and that individual who gets the GA contract, or if they got an entity that's contracted, they'll get an override, an amount of money over the street that will be paid to them for their own business, and then an override paid when any sub-agents, any agents under their GA write business. So if I have Crow & Associates and I have a few agents underneath me writing business, every time they write, I'll get an override payment paid to Crow & Associates on new and renewal for that business. Subs can be set up a couple ways. They can be set up at what's called street level. That means underneath your agency, you can set the subs up so they are paid direct street commission by the company, with then the separate override being paid to you or your agency as the GA. And that override's paid on new and renewal business. Or you can have it so all of the money, called an LOA contract, license only agent, or sometimes called a commission assignment contract, you can set it up so all the money, the street commission and the GA override, is all paid to the GA. Obviously, when that happens, then it's the GA's responsibility to pay out whatever amount they've negotiated with the sub-agent to them. So you have to have a manual pay system there to do that. But we see it often. Medicare supplements, they usually pay a lower override. It's not CMS set, but the carriers set the override on supplements as well. So it'll be a fixed dollar amount for your given level. So a general agency will get an override. A master general agency or MGA will get a bigger override, and an SGA will get an even bigger override. With supplements, it's a little different. It's not CMS set, so some supplement companies will pay a fixed dollar amount. For example, AARP in New York pays, I think it's $280, whatever their street is, but I think it's $280 for a supplement sale, versus a lot of companies will pay percentage, anywhere from 16 to 22% of premium, depending on the supplement and the state they're in and the plan you sell. So supplements are a little more variable. They're not as rigidly set as Advantage plans are. PDP plans pay an override as well. It's a much smaller one. Obviously, the commissions on PDP are much smaller. As a result, the override's much smaller too. And again, it's paid on when the agent submits the new business, it's paid, and then when it renews, it's paid. A GA must be licensed in any state they're going to receive overrides in. This comes up a lot. I will get agents that are GAs, general agencies, and again, a general agent can be an individual or an entity. That general agent will say, I got a new agent in New Hampshire. He or she's going to start writing business. And I'll say, are you licensed there? And is your agency, if you have an agency license there? If it is, great. If it's not, they got to get licensed if they want to receive overrides, because you got to be licensed in every state you get them in. So commission assignment or LOA, I alluded to that earlier. That just simply means, commission assignment or LOA means you set your sub-agents up so all of their commission plus the override is paid to you or the agency, and then you pay them. So the GA then is responsible to pay whatever amount was agreed upon. Often you see this set up with captive agencies, or if other value is being provided, maybe leads, maybe you're giving them office space, maybe something else, access to prospects, a book of business. You see all kinds of reasons for commission assignment and LOA contracts. Often we see street contracts where the agent's paid the street commission direct by the carrier, and the GA simply collects the override. But there's a lot of scenarios where that isn't the case because some other extra value is being provided. For contracting, so when we do contracting, if somebody's going to be a GA, the agency or the individual acting as the, I said agency, but the agency or the individual acting as the GA must be contracted first. So if you want to be a GA, we'll talk about how many sub-agents you need, but if you want to be a GA, we do your contract first. Or if you're an individual street rep right now, we move you to the GA first, then we slide the individual reps underneath you as sub-agents. But yours has to be, the GA has to be done first. Most companies will allow a general agency level contract to be an individual or an entity. Just keep in mind, if you have an agency, a licensed legal entity rather, and you want that entity to receive the GA commissions, that entity must be licensed. It has to have an active accident and health license to get overrides. A lot of times people will say, well, I'm licensed. I started an LLC up. I want that to be paid. Great, but you got to go on NIPR.com, and license that entity so it can receive commission. And it's got to be licensed in every state you receive commission in. So sometimes we see people actually set entities up and have them paid, or sometimes to cut down on licensing costs, you'll see just the individual acting as the actual GA. So once the GA contract is set, and you do that by filling out a contracting kit with us, and then we can give you whatever companies you want. Then you just send us a contracting kit for each sub-agent that you want to set up underneath you, and you let us know, okay, this person's going underneath our agency or me as the GA. I want them paid direct, and I'll just collect the override. Or this is an assignment contract, and I want all their commissions coming to me. You got to let us know ahead of time when you send us the contract. People also ask me, if they're already with you, Ed, do you need a kit? Yes, I always got to do recontracting to move a level. So if you're a street agent, you would have to be recontracted in order to move to a GA. So completed contracts for GAs and for sub-agents would be sent to Lisa at our office. She handles our contracting. I get calls all the time, marketing calls, questions about product. I can handle those. But a lot of times people will call me for their status, like, has the carrier processed this yet? Am I moved to a GA now? Well, Lisa knows that. I don't keep up on the day-to-day of that. That's her function. And you can email contracts to her or fax them to her. And then call our office to get updates from her on status. Like I brought in a sub-agent. Is that person set up under me? Well, Lisa would know that. I can make up an answer for you, but I really won't know. Okay, so what are the requirements to be a general agency? Well, it varies by carrier. So I'll give you some examples. United Healthcare. They need a total of 5 agents to be a GA, meaning you can count yourself as an agent if you're a licensed certified agent. But you'd need 4 subs then to be a GA. So the way that would work is if you want to be a GA, maybe you only have 3 agents. Well, I can't give you a GA with UHC until you have a total of 5, yourself and 4 others. So we'll just leave you at street until you get a total of 4. And once you do, we'll say, okay, you're good to go to be a GA, and we'll slide those 4 contracted agents underneath you. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield in most states only requires 2 subs, yourself and then 2. Aetna requires 3 agents, total of 3. So you count. They say 3 sub-agents, but you count, so it's technically yourself and 2 others. Humana requires 5. There's some examples. Other carriers vary, but certainly we can tell you what their requirements are. And again, at whatever time you meet the requirement, again, we'll then put in your request to be a GA, and we'll slide your existing agents that you've identified as your agents underneath you. Here's a popular topic, releases. Talk about those. So if you have an agent, or if you're already working with another upline, a different FMO, let's say, other than us, they have to give you a release if you want to recontract and move with us. The way that works is there's a generic release. Some companies have specific ones. It's a sheet of paper, basically, that you fill out and sign, that your current upline signs, and that we sign. And that's your upline saying, hey, I'm going to let them move. I'm allowing it. allowing them to move. And again, some require their own specific release, like Aetna, for example. Some uplines will not give releases. We do, but some will not. If your upline will not release you, then you're not going anywhere. You're going to stay. We can't recontract you and move you with us. Same thing with your subagents. So in that case, if they won't give you a release, what would happen is we have a process. We can start the clock to be transferred. In other words, you're saying to the carrier, I want to leave and work with Crow or Pinnacle. I can't, though. I can't get a release. And you'll put in a notification to them, and they'll say, okay, no problem. 6 months from now, you can continue to write business. But 6 months from now, with or without a release, will allow you to recontract and move. But you're going to have to wait 6 months. You can write business during that time, but you got to wait. I talked over my next bullet point here, darn. So most companies require 6 months. Somebody like Aetna, for example, require 3. Continue to write business during that time. And we have a kit, an instructional kit dealing with how you start the clock with each company. So when you're a GA, if you want to recruit subagents, we offer some major advantages there that you wouldn't have with other uplines. So we offer a free lead program. Those who aren't familiar with it, I could email you information about it. But that free lead program can be made available to all your subs. So you can go to your sub and say, hey, work with us. It won't cost you anything because you're going to get full commission paid to you direct, if that's how you got it set up. And also, we have a lead program where you can get $500 a month towards your lead and marketing costs because they'd utilize our free lead program. So you can use that as a way to recruit subagents. And again, it's something that nobody else will be offering. So you're offering an agent value by offering them the lead program where others might not do it. Lead program is easy to explain. Basically, agents must, they got to submit their paid receipts to us. They got to have all their Medicare carriers with us. Other lines of business, we don't care. Sure, we'd like them to have them with us, and we can say up on as a GA on those lines too. But if they want the lead program, they got to have their carriers with us. What we do is the receipt's got to be paid within 30 days, and it's got to mention something about this is Medicare marketing or a Medicare lead. After 6 months, the program goes to a 50% reimbursement, but still up to $500 reimbursement. So $1,000 expense, we reimburse $500, and that's after 6 months. Then that continues forever as long as they want to use it. No minimums to start. The one caveat there is you can only do one lead type per month. So if you're doing marketing for seminars, marketing for the newspaper or newspaper ad, and you're buying leads from a mailer company, you can only give us one type of expense per month. We have other programs you can offer to recruit agents with and to appeal to them. We have our online enrollment using Connect for Medicare. That's absolutely free, costs you nothing, CMS approved, and you can enroll clients with Advantage, Part D, and supplements online, all from one place, coded to you. You can send them links and have them enroll in the exact company you want, or you can open it up and let them shop and compare or give them 3 companies to choose from. It's completely up to you. No wet signatures needed for that process, no face-to-face. Our online quote tool, so you can quote all lines of business with our online quoting tool. Whether you're contracted with it or not, you can see what's out there. We have application processing for those who use paper app, and we can give you access to all our lines of business as well. Last thing I'll mention with that is part of Connect for Medicare, you'll get your own consumer-facing URL, each person, which is CMS approved. Your clients and prospects can go on there, shop, compare plans, and they can run the drug comparisons just like on the CMS site through there. And again, that's for people that want to do their own thing, and if they enroll, you'll get credit for it. To help you in recruiting efforts, if you want, we can provide a list of licensed agents with their email. That way you can pitch the lead program, pitch online enrollment. Certainly, on a one-on-one basis, talking to people who want to be a GA, we can talk about other strategies. There's a number of them. I just gave you kind of a basic one here. But certainly, we have a lot of GAs that are utilizing a lot of strategies to recruit agents. And last thing I'll mention about that is we also will help you recruit because it's in our best interest if we find a street agent who's new, as opposed to just leaving them out there and trying to educate them all ourselves. We'll say, hey, would you like to work with a GA? It won't cost you anything. And if we have them work with you, they'd be underneath you and you'd get the overrides as long as you help us get them up and running. Existing agents are definitely interested in the lead program. It's a great way to recruit. PNC agencies are good candidates. We do a lot of work with them. So we'll get a PNC agency. They already have a lot of people turning 65 and a lot of people age 65 and older. If you can teach them Medicare, give them an agent or two or have them pick somebody internally in their organization that can be a great agent for you as a sub-agency. Same thing with health and life agencies too. They're always good candidates as well. One strategy for subs to ease into Medicare, some agents don't want to take AHIP. They find it too tedious and too hard to do. So what you can do as a strategy is have them use UHC Advantage supplements in Part D, and then you pick all the other competitive supplements that are in your market. Supplements don't require certs. UHC is the only supplement with AARP that requires a certification. It's not that hard, but the nice thing about it is UHC is also the only company that will let you sell Advantage in Part D with them by just doing their cert. You don't have to take AHIP. So strategy to make it easy on your newer agents is just give them UHC Advantage supplement in Part D, add all the other competitive supplements you want, and that way that agent won't have to take AHIP. It's a good way to get somebody started without overwhelming them. And then down the road, when they're more comfortable, you want to add Advantage carriers for them, great, we'll do it, just let us know. We'll add those contracts for them, but they will have to take AHIP. But it's a good way to get people started. So ways to build and grow the agency. Street agents are paid full comp, so it costs them nothing to work with you, literally. You really need to try to stand out by offering something of value. What'll make them want to work with you versus any other upline? There's a lot of them out there. Well, the free lead program, the Connect for Medicare online enrollment, the consumer-facing URL. Maybe you have a really unique strategy to help them sell more that's specific and that you use and it works for you. Well, taking that and duplicating it with your subs can work two ways. It can help you recruit people, and it can help them be productive on top of it. As I mentioned before, Connect for Medicare is certainly a good enrollment tool. Most agents out there are looking for perks and guidance. So basically, on simplest terms, if you can offer them expertise on how you sell, if you can give them all the extra little benefits that we offer to you at no cost anyway, you can also give it to them. Those will be things they don't get, and they'll say, well, why wouldn't I work with these guys or girls? It doesn't cost me anything. I might as well work with them, and I'll take advantage of these extra things and their expertise. As far as contracting is concerned, we'll do all that for you. You just have to fill out the kit for yourselves, for the agency, and yourself as a producer, and then anytime a sub-agent wants to come on, have them fill out a kit and send it to us. I just would say to give us instructions, let us know they go under you, make sure to put your agency name on there, and let us know how they're going to get paid. Contracting with Medicare carriers, especially when you're switching uplines, can be tedious and complicated. So I'd recommend strongly, if you're going to be a successful GA, you got to check in once a week. You can check in with us just for a status update. Hey, I gave you 3 subs. What's their status? So you can work with those 3 subs and check once a week with us just to make sure it's getting set up correctly. I still do it myself. You'd be amazed how many times you put something in just right and the carrier just doesn't set it up right. So you definitely have to check on it. The hardest part about being a GA is ironically getting set up in the first place and getting your subs set up correctly underneath you. So that requires constant follow-up. Got to work with your agents and develop a game plan. So how are they going to generate new sales? Because if you're just going to use the throw it against the wall strategy, they might not sell. You got to help them with that. So again, if you have a proven strategy that works well for you, duplicating that and teaching that to them helps a lot. And then also show them access to all our programs, lead program, app processing, contracting, Connect for Medicare, Pinnacle's website. There's a lot of tools on there, the quote engine, various things. Introduce them to other lines of business. We can set them up with whatever they want. Help show them how to order supplies. All the little things add up all together to make for a successful GA. I think I got a couple questions here. See if I'm smart enough to see them and answer them. Okay, question is, what are the negatives, drawbacks to being a GA? Well, from a compensation standpoint, there is none. From that standpoint, because you're obviously going to get the override on your own business. You're going to get the agent's overrides, assuming you're having them paid street direct. So there's no negatives there. I guess the negatives would be getting them set up in the first place can be hard, getting them released, and then training them. Just because you bring on a bunch of GAs doesn't mean they're going to write. You got to put methods in place and have a strategy to work with them to help them get writing. Once in a while, you'll get a sub who just wants the extra benefits we add that you can give them, and they write already. Great. But that's not always the case. In fact, that's the exception, not the rule. Okay, as a GA, will we get overrides on ancillary products they sell? Examples, GTL, life insurance, etc. Yes, we can set you up with a GA. Carrier requirements need to be met, but we can set you up as a GA with any line of business. Most of the carriers only require you have a certain amount of sub-agents. If you have them, we can set you up with a GA. All right, one other question. How do you get to the other levels, MGA, SGA? Again, it's set by the carriers with Medicare. For a GA, there'll be the levels I talked about, the number of sub-agents. If you want to be an MGA, that's fine, but they require many more sub-agents then to be an MGA. For example, Aetna requires 25 subs to get to the MGA level. So the MGA level is harder than the GA. And then when you get up to MGA level with Medicare and with the other lines of business, they're going to also require premium and business. They're going to want to see production. So it's kind of a double-edged sword then. When you go to MGA or SGA level, number of agents and production needs to be met. Let's see. How much are overrides on MAPD? It depends on the company and the contract level. In general, it's usually $50 override. So $50 on top of the normal commission, and then $50 upon the renewal as well. Okay. Good questions. All right, I'll wait around for another minute to see if you have any other questions, but that's all I have today. It's kind of, like I said, just a quick intro, just letting you know how it works to be a GA. Certainly we've worked with a lot of agents, rather, I should say, to help them become GAs. And then again, we'll help them with the recruiting effort too, because it's in our best interest as well to give them subs, rather have them work with a GA as opposed to just leaving them on their own and having them fail. So, I think with the tools we offer, which are unique, I think with the expertise we offer, I think we can help you be a successful GA. It's not for everybody, I will mention, though. I've had some people try to be GAs. They're great producers, and they just don't want to spend the time working with sub-agents when they feel they can just produce on their own. And that's fine. It's not the solution or not the right step for everyone to use in that regard. Last thing I'll mention is I think I have a unique perspective as far as being a GA. I started the agency myself as an individual producer in 2005, had no sub-agents, built a large book of business around 1,800 clients, and then started bringing agents on. So I've done it. As opposed to some uplines you might talk to where they're employees and they've never done it themselves. Much different scenario with me. I have done it myself. I've done it from scratch. So I think that experience will be really helpful for you as well. That's all we have today. I appreciate everybody for joining me. It doesn't look like we have any other questions. Feel free if you have questions that you think of later on to give us a call or send us an email, and we'd be more than happy to work with you. Thanks. Appreciate you joining us today, and I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you.